Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Blue Diamond Retrospective. Back to school. So in this episode, I'm going to discuss all the class projects I worked on, which are all all of them. I think, all of them are on my Vimeo account. This is when some of my projects ended up being on my Vimeo account, and some are on YouTube. So it's kind of a split. So you kind of have to bear with us on that, just for various reasons. I mean, that's where they wanted us to upload them, was on Vimeo and stuff, so that's where I started the whole Vimeo account and everything. So a lot of that stuff's linked in the description below. So enjoyed this episode, and you get to learn a little bit about why the films are the way they are, and the different story behind all the films. So, enjoy. So, I took a post-production course that taught me how to use Adobe Premiere Pro in the spring semester of 2014. This was the time I was working on, The Real Business and Survivor War's End, which was the first Blue Diamond project that used Premiere Pro. And I was also editing Patrick Stark's Martial Law at this time. In August, I signed up for the cinematography course. And one of the things was I needed to get myself a Canon T5i, Canon DSLR, or DSLR, I guess, actually, not Canon. It didn't have to be Canon, it could be Nikon. But I had to get a DSLR, so I got the Canon T5i. Actually, the first thing we used it for was we started filming Martial Law 3 Reconciliation. So I was filming that at the time. I was filming a few of my class projects. I was learning how to use the camera while doing class projects, as well as filming Martial Law 3. So that was going on, but that is for a different episode to discuss the martial law. But this was going on at the same time, just so you're aware. So my first project, we were divided up into groups of 4, except for one group had to be a group of 3, which ended up being my group. And the 2 people that I was working with missed that class, so they had to, so basically my teacher, Brian Maurer, had told me, just you're just going to have to come up with all the story idea, and you'll have to come up with the whole idea. And they're just going to have to go along with it because they're not here. So I came up with this idea: what if we show off 3 different cinematography styles? We'll call it the classy, the cool, and the casual. We'll do one. The classy, it'll be very much on a tripod, center framed, very static, and of course the guy will be dressed up really nice and everything. The cool will do some more handheld tripod, tracking shots. Unfortunately, we center framed it as well. We really need to be a little off center. It would have made the whole difference. And then, of course, the casual was all handheld, a little more shaky cam stuff going on with that one. And then they all meet up at a table, and then they end up playing pool together. So we just got some really cool shots. It was just a really fun thing. It took us a day. Most of these projects only took a day or 2 to film. But it was just supposed to be showing off techniques. It was the first project that we were assigned. Went well. Second film project. Of course there were written projects and working with other movies, but I'm talking about, of course, discussing in this video about the actual film projects where we actually filmed something. Then we were assigned a 2-person project. And so me and David Wentworth were assigned together, and I came up with the idea of One Good Deed, which we managed to get, there were only 3 of us into the film, and really I only grabbed the one literally because he was in the student center where we were filming. I was like, hey, it was just a friend of mine, Josh Frost. I was like, hey, you want to just do this one quick bit here? And we just filmed. I love some of the shots in that, especially the shot of the columns as he walks across It was great. Just trying out some different film techniques. It was a decent project. It went well. It was well liked. I had where I fade out, where it's supposed to be like either like an angel or something. It was a simple story, no dialogue needed. Just telling a fun little story. So we just went out and filmed it. Using just what we had: the camera, a tripod, and some shots, some classrooms, and that sort of thing, and just came up with this little mini story that we could put together, a little narrative. Filmed it one day, edited it up, and sent it out. So there's not much to say about a lot of these films because they're very simple. The Pain of Regret. This is a weird one because this is a class project as well as being a Blue Diamond project. The reason I say that, and the reason why it's listed as that, is because this one was. It was a solo. This is when we had this was our final for the class. It was a solo project. So we now had to work on our own things. I borrowed the 50mm 1.8 f-stop lens from the class. Now I actually own one of my own. As soon as I used it, I was like, I gotta buy one of these for myself to use. Got Patrick and Mizzou together, and Micah, who we'd already been working a lot of time spending on martial law reconciliation. So we were like, hey, why don't we just do this as well? So that's why I considered Blue Diamond, because it was all me. I wasn't sharing this with anyone of my classmates. So it wasn't like a shared project. Just had to just film it using all the different techniques we learned. Came up with the story and produced it, got it out there. With all the time restrictions, like, a lot of these also had time restrictions, like the classical and the casual. The original version was only 2 minutes, I think 2 minutes long. They had different time restrictions. So the class version is on Vimeo. But the version most people know is the version where I actually got Otto Nilsson to do a score for it. It's the version that was shown at the Valentine's Day Film Festival in 2015, which was the first time I ever won. We won Best Cinematography and Best in Fest, which got us Best in Fest, got us the green screen, a day of using the green screen studio, which is what we used. We were trying to film Doctor Who in that, trying to film the TARDIS scenes, which there's some test footage that I've got of that. Unfortunately, that project fell apart. And then I also got to use a 3-day rental of the Red 1, MX Red 1 camera, which was Brian's personal camera, which he had used on several projects, which I used for filming the movie What You Leave Behind. But yeah, we won those awards for winning with the Pain of Regret, which I still consider maybe still my best film. It's one of my absolute favorites. It's definitely top 3 probably that I've worked on. Top 3. It's one of the best. There's just so many good things with it. It still has my absolute favorite shot, which is this shot right here. I don't know why. It's just the composition, the lighting, the color, everything about this shot I absolutely love. And Lisa does great acting in it without having to say any dialogue. It's just the absolute best shot I've ever shot in a movie, I think. Now, other people might think there are other shots that I've done that are better, but it is my personal favorite shot. There was that ending. That whole ending bit was great to film. We filmed it. It was just 2 days of filming. We filmed all the present day stuff one day, and then the next day, Patrick shaved, and then we filmed all the flashbacks on the next day. And that was it. It was literally just 2 days of filming. Got an A for it. Literally only missed like 2 points for the whole time. It was I got an A in all the classes, production classes I was in, so I guess I was doing something right. And then that was the end of cinematography. So Yeah, it was only 3 film projects, but man, I learned a lot. I learned a ton about cinematography at that point. And yeah, The Pain of Regret was just such a blast to make. It's still one of my all-time favorites to make and as a finished product. Of course, the director's cut is also available. But the class project version is also on my Vimeo account, so you should check that out. It's a little different, uses movie music, but it was a lot of fun to work on. Then, spring of 2015, I did field production, which was working with lights, mostly. That was the big thing, working with studio lights. So I was working with the actual production lights, our first test project, and now we were in teams, and our team stuck together for the entire thing. We gained a few members when they consolidated down into 2 teams. I think there was like 3 or 4 originally, and then we condensed at the very end for the last project with 2, but it was still the main core 5 of us working on most of all these projects together. The good, the bad, the pizza. I mean, it was just a simple shot. One day, we took the light kits out, we lighted up the thing to get good lighting and a good shot, and it was a simple premise. There's 2 guys battling out for a slice of pizza. Everyone thinks it's a fun film. It was literally only supposed to be about a minute long. It was, a minute long. It was just a short little film. We were just testing lights. Got Micah in there. The other guy was one of the girls that was on our team. Her boyfriend was the other guy. Literally just slapped that thing together and got out, and it was nice to have Micah in the project. He wasn't even feeling good that day, but he does well, and I love them throwing the box around. And literally, it was just a guy who was doing his laundry in the laundromat that came by and grabbed the slice of pizza. We were like, hey, you want a slice of pizza? Just walk when we tell you to walk, and grab the pizza, and walk out, and you're done. Don't even know the guy's name. He literally just walked in. He was just doing his laundry because we were in one of the dorms. So, just a fun little project. Just, 5 of us working on that. Oh, sound. Yeah, that's the other thing we were going to start working on was sound, like boom mic. That was the other big thing with field production. So, it was sound and lighting was the big thing. The next project, The Great Debate. This is where we started working with sound. Lighting and sound. And this project it was one day. But man, did The Great Debate take forever to film. I think we were in the Mizzou Chi Alpha house. We were in the main classroom for, solid, like 4 or 5 hours in that room. Just the 7 of us. Got Nick Dashner, who had appeared in The Survivor of War's End as Muscles, and Jacob Zimmer. And literally the premise, we once again were doing a food contest. Originally that was our idea. We were going to just keep doing like food battles, but we decided to cancel that after the second one. We didn't want to do it again. We were tired of it after that filming of that one. And we literally decided the dialogue was all going to be AFI's top 100 movie quotes. One of them is misquoted at the very end, which was disappointing, but at that point we were just trying to wrap it up. It was like the last shot. But every single line is from AFI's top 100 movie quotes. I found a way to string it together as a conversation. So it was just a fun little thing to put together. I think the sound worked pretty well, but man, the lighting, it was tough getting that lighting to work the way we wanted it to work. We discovered it's challenging to work with lights. But it was a fun little project. I still enjoy it. I get giggles when I watch it. It's fun. We also did a PSA. Our PSA Superheroes Debate, which is not one of my films, but it is a video that is on my Vimeo account. That was our first test with the boom mic. We were testing sound. And it's literally just 3 of us. 3 of our team members. That was 3 of our team members. We divide up even smaller teams at that point. So the 2 girls that were on our team were on a different group. But that was the 3 guys of our team. Our team, we came with the name Rolling Tumbleweed. Don't ask me why. I think it was from the first film because we were talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we started talking about, like, westerns. And so suddenly we kept talking about there needed to be a rolling tumbleweed go through. So this was the pseudo team name that we used throughout all the productions. So I always consider that to be my class production name. got that. So we did that, and then we'll do one last film, and this was our final. We had to use lighting, sound, all of it, and we were right up, and we had a few extra members now. Most of them appear in the film Striking as the film crew. So I came up with the idea that we were going to incorporate the lights into the film, because I was not wanting to fight with the lights. I was like, no, I don't want to fight with these lights. So why don't we just incorporate the lights into the film? And there's some nice shots. There's some great lighting shots. We were actually using the C100. Yeah, we used the C100, so we used a better camera. I actually really liked the way the film came out. I thought it was a great little fun film. Getting to use a lot of really cool lights and stuff, and actually I wanted to show off what we were actually doing with this class, which is using these lights. It's been so much about the lights since day one. I was like, we're just gonna do this. And we also all got a bunch of cameos, which was nice, getting everyone in there. Except for our two main actresses in the movie. Everyone else is part of our team, which is great. I died. I got to wear my hat. It was nice. And, I got killed. And of course we used my Walther PPK prop as the gun. It was just a really fun little film to put together. I really enjoyed it. It was definitely one of my favorites in terms of lighting. I really think it was good. Obviously there was room for improvement, but honestly, really solid effort with everyone. I was glad we were able to finish our film, make it look good. It got in the film festival, but never got any awards. But it was shown. So that's nice. I think. After that, next fall, I skipped the summer internship course practicum that year because I wanted to work with the red and stuff, so I actually opted to skip that one that year. Just moved on to the next fall, in which I did an advanced screenwriting course, so I only wrote scripts during that fall, so I didn't do any films. I didn't do any films for a little while, I think. Yeah, because then I did film management, which was about like directing and producing and all that sort of thing. So once again, no filming. So I didn't actually do any filming with class stuff until the next summer, in which we did Drive U, which was this was the big deal. This was everything right here. We had a different script originally for this course. Originally it was a script written for the advanced screenwriting course. It then moves into the film management course, where we help plan out the internship. So it's like a 3-course film. That's another reason why I opted to wait, because I wanted to follow the script. I wanted to be there when the script was written, possibly even be a script I wrote, which it wasn't. I opted to do a sci-fi script, so I knew I wouldn't have my script made into the summer internship, and then watch it get planned out, and then watch it actually get made. I wanted to be part of that full circle, so that's another reason why I waited with the summer internship. We had Brian and Michael Coleman ended up having to write a script in like 2 days. They wrote Drive U because we were having trouble with locations and stuff, and we spent 4 or 5 days of filming, I think. And yeah, it's actually a lot of really good stuff. We were able to use a couple of locations that were being used for Brian's film that he made, which you can check on like IMDb and stuff, In the Wake of Ire, because we were able to film in Glasgow, so we were able to use a couple of his sets that he was preparing for his film, which was great. It was a great opportunity for us. We got him the cameo as the bartender. And I'm filming in East Side Bar. We actually got the whole thing. We blacked out the lights so it looked like it was nighttime. And we filmed it. This is all being filmed on Red Scarlet. We all switched different roles. I know I was assistant director at one point. I was key grip. We switched a lot of roles. At the very end, that's why at the very end we kind of had to randomly pick who is what role. Everyone was pretty much done with the film after that week. We had done several weeks of planning it. then everyone was just fine with me doing post-production. I think most people just wanted to be done with the film. So I started doing the post-production stuff. We had a few shots missing, though, unfortunately. So that delayed the film, even though I had a pretty rough cut, and I've done a lot of different sound design. That's actually my favorite film in terms of me doing the sound design. I really like the sound design I was able to put together. With like footsteps and noise, like the bar scene, it sounds so boring, and we filmed it and did the audio, and then I gave it atmosphere, putting crowd noises, pinball machines, pool stuff, it really sounded like it was a lot more people in there than it was actually there. I got a small role in there. Actually, funny note, the location where the graveyard is, where all the rocks are, you actually can see that location in a shot in Martial Law Insurrection. You can actually see it. It's down on the bridge. You actually see those rocks. Same location. So I thought that was funny when I saw that footage from Martial Law Insurrection. I was like, wait a minute, I know that place. That's where we filmed Drive U. So, Otto Nilsson got to do the music, which I thought was great. I just asked Brian, hey, can I let my composer from Sweden just put the music? He was like, fine. If he wants to do it for free, yeah, go right ahead. Do it. So that was a lot of fun, putting that film together. We finally, when I was working on Cinematography II, I was able to film with another really good camera that could film in 4K, so I was able to get those last shots that we needed, like shots of the car, the Drive U logo. Those were the shots of inside the car, outside of the bar, and the interior shots of the car driving, and also the Drive U logo being put on the window. Those were shot way later, and that's me driving the car, me putting up the sticker, not Mitch, our main actor, playing Alex. One of the guy's girlfriend played the waitress, and then a bunch of us cameoed in a lot of the various other roles. A lot of the production people, but those were our two main actors. But we had lights, good camera, audio. This was the whole kit and caboodle. This was everything. This was it. This was the big deal. So we finally got it out way later. It was almost a year later, only due to the fact that it took us that long to get those shots made. Took us until December before we were able to film those last shots. Or else it probably would have come out at the very end of that year. So yeah, I mean, there was Drive U. Then I worked on Cinematography II. Then that fall of 16, did Cinematography II and Intro to Directing. Intro to Directing only had one actual filming that we did, which was Flower. Just simply working with actors. It was me and one other person. We partnered up. Very simple film. Just working with actors. So that was Flower. Cinematography II, we also Cinematography II, which was the more advanced version, which was the first time this class had been taught. I did, a couple of films with that. We did, I did a few extra shots, some films that they weren't films, they were just me passing out the camera. There were a couple of projects of that nature. But the actual films, like choices, which now is going to be, I want to film a beginning and end to it. I've always wanted to film a beginning and end and also get the visual effects put in, which is now going to be tied into the Lost Scene series. Was literally just supposed to be an emulation project. We were supposed to emulate a cinematographer. Whatever cinematographer we wanted, we could emulate them, which I chose Roger Deakins. So it definitely I tried to go for very much a Roger Deakins style with the filming. We filmed at the same location we filmed at the Martial Law and Reconciliation. They were great to have us. It was great to be back there. But yeah, once again, no real story. It was just an action scene. I just wanted it to be like Sicario or Skyfall or something, Just that Roger Deakins. He's my favorite cinematographer, so that's actually why the character, now that he's getting a name, his last name is Deakins. That's why, because it's the emulation project. That was a fun little project to put together. Then I made Monopoly the movie. We were getting to use nice cameras with this one. The Ursas. We filmed it in 4K and everything. It was another one, me and one other person. Put it together. Got Brendan Maley in there. Got this whole noir thing. There's several versions. There's a neo-noir version that I had made, which is actually in color. And then after we showed it to the class, Brian just told me to just go full noir, just black and white it. Just black and white it, do a lot of different, contrasts. Do the heavy contrasts and stuff. So I did, and that's the version that is the main version that exists now. So the class project version was more neo-noir. I wanted to be kind of like Chinatown or something. Just really wanted to make a real comedy. Just make Monopoly the movie, turn it into a noir film. Do a lot of the visual gags and stuff. It was a little fun film to put together. I really enjoyed it. I love doing the whole trumpet thing where the music is actually in the office. And it was a nice little cameo for me to do. Use my dad's trumpet for that shots. Brought back Sean. For the first time, Sean Phillips was back. It was great. It's Pennybags, and it was fun to just film where we filmed, and I actually really enjoyed working on that film. We got to do some cool stuff with lighting and stuff. Ended up winning an award, Best Directing, at the 2017 MU Film Festival, spring 2017. Ended up giving my prize. The prize was once again another 3-day rental with the Red, but I wanted my partner to get a chance to try to use the camera since I had already used it before, so she took the actual the prize. So I was like, just have fun with it, since I've used it before. Then my last project, Live Today, filmed in one day. Another one of those filmed in one day. Basically supposed to be two people, very similar lives. I want to do an experimental film, because that's what we're supposed to do at the very end, try an experimental film. And literally just threw together this experimental film with two people side-by-side shots, and showing how your life can be very similar to someone else's, but one moment can change everything. So the one guy actually gets hit by a car, while the other guy lives. And that's literally what that project was. It was just an experimental. That's what we were supposed to be. Experimental. And yeah. I think it worked pretty well. But that was all the films that I ever did for any of my production courses. So those are my class projects. And then I did a film reel right at the very end. The last thing I edited together was a film reel from all my class projects, plus martial law, and a few of my extra films that I had filmed during that time put in there. So yeah, pretty much everything from when I got the T5. So everything from August 2014 to fall of 2016, December 2016, is all in there, in that film reel. Which I ended up changing a little bit of that film reel for the Phase 2 show reel, which recently got uploaded to my channel. But yeah, that's it. Drive You, it's a great film. I'm really happy with it. A lot of my class projects, I'm very happy with the class projects. I really like them. It was a blast working on them. I learned a ton about filmmaking at that point. And of course, the quality got massive with the whole using the DSLR and stuff. But yeah, so check out these films. I know they haven't been viewed as much because they're not on YouTube, but all the links are down below. Watch them. They're really fun little films. Most of them aren't that long. Just enjoy them. Drive You especially, enjoy that. That was a big team effort putting that thing together. It's great. We did a great job with it. Yeah, so check it out, and then I will see you all again in the next episode of this series, where I will be discussing Blue Diamond Productions' involvement in the martial law trilogy. So probably won't be that long because, I mean, there isn't much to say about, like, especially the first movie, because we weren't that involved in it in the second movie. Mostly we'll talk a little bit about the third movie, but also I plan on doing a whole behind the scenes, a proper documentary about that trilogy later. So really I'm just going to talk a little bit about Blue Diamond Productions' involvement in that. Probably be the shortest episode of the entire thing, and then we'll move on from there. But so this was all the class projects. So I will see you all again next episode, and take care, and thank you for watching this episode of Blue Diamond Retrospective. Take care.